Okay, so we're recording now. All right, so welcome everyone along to the first webinar recording for some Canvas training with myself and Annette, or Annette's going to be doing most of it from Tocal. So we're here to actually sort of run through a bit of how-to information around a couple of forms today, and uploading pre and post course information, and a little bit around the uploading the participant course assessment information after you've done a face-to-face as well. So we'll be recording lots of these little or shorter, smaller videos for the future to try and help trainers and participants on Canvas as well. So this one's just the first one today to get the first cab off the rank, and we'll get into it, and I'll hand over to Annette from Tocal, and yeah, we'll get started.
Yeah, hello everyone, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this. I'm very aware that I use Canvas every day and a lot of you don't, and so it might be months between times between you doing certain jobs, and so what we're trying to do is create some short help videos so that if you've forgotten how to do a task, then you've got a reference point to go back to have a look. So we're going to start by looking at the dashboard. So you should be able to see my dashboard on the screen, and I've got a lot of tiles on mine because I've got a lot of courses, and probably you'll never get quite as many as this on yours. And so we're going to start by having a look at the BERTA overview just for a moment, which you should have all had a look at already. And this is where people upload their PHA and AHA certificates, their resume. And what people might not know is that down the bottom here, there's some links to some Canvas training, and we're going to create some help sheets, which we all link there where that says help sheets. If you click on Canvas, then there's actually a few Canvas videos already uploaded there, which the participants can look at. Now, the thing is, they're not tailored to BERTA specifically. So what we'll do in time is develop some that are more tailored towards BERTA itself. So that's sitting in the BERTA overview. I'm now going to flick to the trainer portal and show you where the help sheets are on the trainer portal. So if you just scroll down on the trainer portal page, and I've made the link right there on the front, so it's easy for you to find. So we've created a table here for topics that we think trainers might need, and we've also created a table for topics we think participants might need. So you can see some are in red already, so they're live links, and others are still in my head. So if there's anything else that you can think of that you need to do that you find a bit annoying because you forget between times, then just let us know. Email it to berta@tocal.com, and we'll add that to the list in time as we work our way through these particular topics. So anytime you can come in here and download the ones that are already in existence. So if there's any questions on that, then you can contact us and we'll clarify, or any ideas. Mm-hmm. So the next thing is I'm going back to the home. From the home page, the icons down here, the first one on the left is trainer registration. So most trainers should have already been in here and uploaded their trainer registration, which is like a tailored CV. Their list of courses from Tocal College. Now, some people have done extra courses, so if you want a new list, I can provide that from this November onwards. A lot of people have still not uploaded their new TAE qualification. So if you haven't upgraded your TAE, you cannot teach any accredited training. So you have to either have the new TAE or you have to be compliant. And eventually everyone will need to move over to the new TAE. So if you click on that link, you can read about that, but we're not going to go there now. The one we wanted to focus on today is the trainer information form. I'm just going to click on that, and it opens to a page with a bit of an explanation. And down the bottom, we click on the link to open the form. Now, previously I had a form where I was asking people to put the evidence that they've got of work that they've done to justify that they're current for their units of competency. But what's happened is very soon after all the BERTA materials were finished, the new PUA training package was released. And so that's an added difficulty we have to face right now. So that's a national decision. It's nothing to do with TOCAL. TOCAL has no control over that whatsoever. So every 5 or 6 years, the training packages are updated. And so ours happened to be updated and released in August. So what that means for us is trainers will have to move over to the new units of competency. And so what I've done is set up this form here, which will help you with a few things. The first thing is I've listed in the left-hand columns here 1A PUA COM 001C, and that's the unit of competency that a lot of trainers already have. The replacement unit is PUA COM 001 with no C, same name. In some cases, the course names have changed. So in filling out this form, it'll help me map you across to enable us to award you the new unit. So to do that, if you hold the current unit, you type yes in there. If you don't hold, no one holds the new unit, so that's no. But possible to RPL, yes. If you hold the PUA COM, we can RPL you. And so in this box here, you would write yourself a little story about your experience specifically related to communicating in the workplace. And it only needs to be 3 or 4 sentences. Recent experience of you communicating in the workplace. The next 2 units down, so 2A and 2B, when we started writing BERTA, the packaging rules for the training package said AHC BIO 301A. But we already knew that in the AHE package that had been superseded. So when we wrote BERTA, we wrote to AHC BER 301. We didn't write to the superseded unit. So a lot of trainers will already hold AHC BER 301. So you just write yes in there. And then over here in your experience box, you'll write a little bit about your experience in working effectively in an emergency animal disease or plant response. So it doesn't need to be long, it doesn't need to be detailed, it needs to be recent, and it needs to be specifically relevant to that unit of competency. So we've started at the top here with Certificate 3, and then if you work your way down, the Certificate 4 and Diploma units are all listed, one after the other, and you can go through, and we'll use that to transition you if we can. If you don't hold the last unit of competency before this change, then you'll need to RPL. So that's a different story altogether. This will tell us that, and then we can put an RPL process in place. And so if anyone's not sure, then we can explain that RPL process at another time. So hopefully that makes sense, but I want to use this form to do a few things, which is introduce you to what the new units of competency are, help you transition to the new units, and then approve you for the units that you can take.
And then what happens once they've filled out the form, Annette? Like, where do they put that form?
So if we go back, if we close that and go back to the page, then on the next page, it should be on that page, but maybe because I'm in trainer mode, I can't see the submit assignment. But if you're in there as a student, which all the trainers will be, then they'll have a submit assignment button up the top here. So
right.
So we can't see that at the moment, but it is
yeah. So the trainers will definitely have a submit assignment button at the top.
Yes.
There.
So they'll be in here as students, because every trainer's in the BERTA trainer portal as a student, right. And so they'll be able to submit their assignment using that red submit assignment button that we normally use.
Great.
So upload it there, and you know, if they get more qualifications down the track, then they would just add to that form and resubmit it, put it up again. So make sure you keep it, save it on your computer, save it in your hard drive in a sensible place, and then if you get more units, then you add them and you resubmit it, and then I'll approve. So when I approve, if we go to marks and go to Hayley, you should be on here. If we go to Hayley and training information and approval for each unit. So once I've looked at your form, I will write a comment in here and I'll attach the file that says which units are approved and which are not approved.
Yeah, great.
And so that will go there, and you can download it from there anytime.
Yep.
Okay. So that's something new and something that everyone needs to work on. I'm going on leave in October, but if we get the new training package on scope by January, then and people want to start teaching the new units in February, March, then they will have to have been transitioned across before they can teach the new unit.
Yeah, right. So they need to fill out this form basically before Christmas or just after Christmas, basically before they start training.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take time. It'll take a bit of time once I've got the forms to then put in result sheets to student admin, and you know, a lot of people go on leave in January, so you know, anyone who can get it in December would be great, because then I can get those results processed hopefully before Christmas, and then you'll be ready to go. We can keep teaching the old units until May, and then after that we're not allowed to teach the old units anymore.
Okay. So
we've got a little bit of time. We don't know how long it'll take to get the new qualification on scope, so that will depend on a lot of things that are out of our control.
Yep.
Okay, so that's that form. I'm just going back to the home page now. So so that's all on the trainer registration. On the course administration, there's a lot of things in here that I don't think people have looked at in detail. And so there's a little bit of a flow chart. And if you're becoming a trainer for the first time with BERTA, then you need to work through these pages by going next, 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 and have a work through. But the form I want to focus on now is this register participants on Canvas. So you click that and you go to this page here and click on the link, and the new spreadsheet will open. So a few people have already been working with this sheet. I have changed it around a little bit for a couple of reasons, which I'll explain in a minute. But it's really important that you go back to the BERTA Trainer portal and you download the new version of the sheet. Because if you've got one from 3 months ago, you'll have a look at it and it's completely different to this. So it's got some things missing off it that we actually need to know. So what I've done is set up the green boxes. You'll notice I love colour. but the green boxes are the boxes you have to fill in. The yellow box is really important because this is your course name. And so we're adopting a standard procedure for setting up your course name. So it's jurisdiction, what they're studying. So it's either Cert 3 or it's Biosecurity Responder Skill Set or it's RISPA, LIBA, BRIEFA, it's whatever, and we might abbreviate that. So it's whatever it is that they're studying. Then where the course is and when. So the example I've given is Western Australia, Cert 3, Albany, May 2019. So usually before the trainers send anything into me, we have a conversation either by phone or by email, and we agree on the name that goes in there. That becomes the section on Canvas that all the students and trainers are allocated to. It becomes a folder on our system where we download files to do with that course and store them. And so it's a very important name that we have to agree on. The lead trainer and other trainers here, it's very important that you put whoever's doing the course in there, because we need to check and make sure they're actually approved and hold those units. The other thing is it tells us who we need to put onto the group with the students as the trainers who can mark the assessments. Over on this side, sometimes there are other people who need access. So the other green boxes over here are for anyone else who needs access to either upload or download information to do with that group. When we get down to the participants' details, anyone who's used this form before, notice I've moved the main contact number across to here. It used to be way over on the other side. The reason for that is we're moving to an electronic enrolment form, and that enrolment form will certainly be ready for next year. It might even be ready for the December course, which is, it's being tested at the moment, and I've been working with the developers on that. So what's really important is the date that you're starting your participants off, their surname and first name as according to their USI. So if their name's Frederick and you write Freddie in here, they'll get an enrolment form with Freddie on it and the USI won't match. So it's really important that you put their correct name, email address and a phone number. And you put them in. So today you might start 10 people, so they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, all with the same date. Next week you might add another 3. So just add them to the bottom. Once you submit this form and we add them to Canvas, you'll be charged $30. Because when we add participants to Canvas, we are charged $30 to access Canvas. That's not money in Tocal's coffers, that's money that goes to Canvas. So do not delete people off this form, because whoever you've put on here in the first place will be who you're charged for. I just want to flick now to the electronic enrolment form to show you that, because you'll see where that information, oh, sorry, before I do, this box here, the BERTA course code. So up here, I've already written BERTA overview. You also need to put in there, if it's RISPA, LIBA, BRIEFA, you put RISPA, LIBA, BRIEFA. If it's PLANBA, you put PLANBA. If it's CLABA, you put CLABA. So whatever you put in there, that will help us design the enrolment forms for your group. So if you put the wrong code in there, your students will be enrolled on WinSAS, our student system, in the wrong units of competence. So I'll just minimise that and I'll flick to the enrolment form. And when it comes in, it will save us with a lot of trouble. So the students will get an email with a link, and when they click on the link, already my name, my sex, my phone number is pre-filled. And also the course that they're doing is pre-filled, and the modules or the units of competency are pre-filled. So you can see they're grey and you can't click on them and you can't change them. So all of that information has come from that form we looked at a minute ago. So if you don't fill that out correctly, then your students will get enrolled in the wrong thing.
Mm.
And what happens when they submit this form, it all goes straight into our student administration system automatically. You don't have to have someone sitting there typing it in anymore. So it'll help enormously with our administration, but it'll also mean that people are getting enrolled in the correct thing. I get enrolment forms with all sorts of things on them that are not really right. And this will help us get the right courses, the right units for each student.
Yeah, so it's really important that form that they fill it out properly.
Yeah, so that it all hinges on that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
If this spreadsheet.
So once they've filled that out on that, they just email BERTA out, or do they upload it, or what sort of?
So in the first instance, whoops. So down here, I've written to email it to berta@tocal.com. So this box here says, please email to berta@tocal.com. So the reason for that is, one, I'm going on leave, and I go on leave for 2 months a year. So while I'm not here, no point emailing it to me because no one else can read my email. So if you email it to berta@tocal.com, I've got 3 other people that are monitoring that email. And so Naomi has been working with me on this system, and she'll see that and she'll action it. So she'll start putting, if you put the right thing up here, she'll start putting them onto Canvas for you.
Mm.
Okay, so it's really important that you email to berta@tocal.com. Once your list is settled and you think that you've got everyone on there that's going to go to your course, then you can upload it into Canvas in a spot we'll show you shortly. But for the first instance, until your list is settled, and while you're adding people, then berta@tocal.com.
Mm.
And that comes to me as well. So it goes to berta@tocal and automatically comes to me. So you don't have to send it to me as well.
Yeah, great.
The white sections are information that various trainers have collected over time when they've sent forms in to me. So I've just left them on there, and you're free to fill those in if you want. If you don't, well, I don't care. I just care about the green bits.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I'll close this and I'll close that. So the next thing we wanted to look at is so I'll just go back to the BERTA Trainer portal again, and we'll go back to the help sheets. So help sheet number 10 is already done. So if you click on that, a Word document will open, and did you see that, Hayley?
Yeah, it's downloaded into the into your bar down the bottom there.
Yeah, but can you actually see the form?
You can see their BERTA help sheet. Yep, 10.1. Yep.
Yep. So that help sheet's already done, and so what I'm about to go through is all covered in this help sheet. So there's a lot to take in, and I just want you to be aware that the help sheet's already written. So if you're confused at all, then you can refer back to that help sheet. So what I'm going to do now is go into a course called Logbar. So this has only been run once, and this is the first group that has trialled uploading the course administration documents using the new system we've set up.
Maybe can we start just by showing them how to get into Logbar through courses, all courses, and
right, okay.
They get used to where how they get in there to the right area.
Yep. Okay. So on your dashboard, if you're a trainer or a student in Logbar, you'll see Logbar on your dashboard. And you can click on that, and you can go in Logbar. The other alternative is over on your very left-hand side, you'll see a book And if you hover over the book, it says courses. If you click on courses and then lists all the courses you've got on your dashboard, but right down the bottom it says all courses.
Mm-hmm.
So here's all the courses that I'm on. So when I say I'm on campus every day, it's not surprising when you see this. But what's important is that over here it doesn't let me show it, but over on the right-hand side, you can see the roles that I play. So for some courses, I'm the designer. For some courses, I'm the teacher. For some courses, I'm the student. So for BERTA, for example, I'm a teacher and I'm a student. So for uploading your course administration documents, you need to be on the course as a student. And if you try to do it and it's not working, then you're probably in there as a teacher. So you need to come back to this spot. So go to courses, scroll down to all courses, find BRIEFBA or LOGBA or whatever it is. And if you need to upload assignments, you'd click on the line that's got BRIEFBA students. If you've got too many things on your dashboard and you don't want them on your dashboard, then you just click on the little stars and it gets rid of them. So that stops them coming up on your dashboard. But so we're going to go into LOGBA. So if I go into LOGBA as a student, which is this line here, so here's the LOGBA course. So that's the page your participants will see. And if you go modules, you'll see there's two sets of assignments. There's the assignments or the pages the students will see, and then there's another 6 under the heading trainer and admin documents. So this is the documents to do with the course, the overall course, not the individual students' assessments, but the overall course information. So there's pre-course information, there's that checklist, list of students we looked at a minute ago. There's the course briefing and attendance sheets, course completion, the evaluations, and then any other additional evidence you want to upload. So if you're in here as a student, you should be able to click on that assignment, pre-course information, and I've already done this, so it's showing resubmit assignment there. When you come in for the first time, it'll say it's submit assignment. But you can do it more than once, so we can resubmit assignment. So this here, in the contract between Animal Health Australia and Toco College, it says that Toco College will review the pre-course information. And the reason for that is we can get in serious trouble if people are sending out pre-course information that's not accurate. And so one of the standards for an RTO is that we accurately inform the potential participants of what they're getting involved in. And so it's pretty important that I have a quick look at the pre-course information and make sure that it's on track. And once you've done it a couple of times, if you've got some templates and it's the same information, that's fine. And if you're sending out the same help sheet each time, you don't have to upload that every time. But if you change the information for the group, then you need to upload that information for your group so that I can see what email you've sent them and what other information you've sent them. And I might see a gap, and I'm wondering why people are struggling with something, and it might be because you're missing something out of your pre-course information. So that's the first one. The second one is the participants list. So again, you can see the submit assignment button here. Now, we used to have a checklist which people were supposed to send in before they ran a course. Well, basically that didn't happen. So I've left the checklist here, as a guide. So if you're a new trainer and you want to see the steps, and I haven't updated it for a while since we've got into BERTA, but if you want to have a look at some of the steps, then you can do that. But the critical information I've now put onto that form we're looking at a minute ago, the registering participants on Canvas. And so that's where, when the list is settled, you would upload that, and that becomes the permanent place where that list is stored.
Yeah, so each one of these modules where they've got to upload the pre and post course stuff, there are links to the templates that they need, isn't it?
That's correct. So if you click on that, then that will take you back to the BERTA trainer portal to where that template is.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure, then you just click on the link and it'll take you back to the trainer portal each time. So the next one is the course briefing and attendance record. Now, some people haven't been doing, or they do a course briefing, but they don't do it formally. So that's just a bit of a checklist. So if you click on that, you go to the trainer portal, and there's the standard induction briefing. It's a little Word document. Take that with you to course, tick it off, sign it, and upload it. Easy. So it's all linked back to the trainer portal. And we do that because otherwise, if you can imagine, I've got about 35 courses that I'm looking after here. And so every one of them has got these assignments. So if you change one document, I'm not going to go to 35 different places to change it. I change it in one place on the trainer portal. And these assignments then link back to that spot. So that's so there's an induction briefing and there's an attendance record. So if you click on that, again, the same thing. There's a couple of different attendance records there. So if you're doing longer courses than 3 days, then we'd need to do a sheet with 4 days on it. So your participants, a requirement is that participants sign the attendance sheet every day that they're at the course. So at the end of the course, you can come in and you can upload. Oops, where am I?
Oh, you're in the trainer portal, as opposed to Logbar.
Yep, I've got to get back to Logbar.
And you can probably show them how you can see that up the top there with the breadcrumb.
Yeah. Oh, I'm out now. But so
even when you're in Logbar, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going back to Logbar via here.
So again, at the moment, you're still logged in as a student to upload, aren't you?
I'm not sure now.
Yeah, in a different way.
so up the top here is what Hayley's saying. It tells you where you are. So we're in Logbar and we're in Logbar and we're in the modules for Logbar.
Yep.
So the next one is course completion forms. So it's very important at the end of the course that you submit this form, and it does say 10 days in different places. People are getting stressed about the 10 days. It's not necessarily 10 days from the face-to-face course. It's 10 days from when the last assessment is handed in. Okay, so there's a little bit of leeway there, but Tocal College is supposed to process your results within 21 days of the course. And so if you've got assessments coming in a bit later, then that gives us a bit of room to push that back. But you can't send them in 6 months' time. I mean, that's just not, if we're audited and people are not sending their results in promptly, then we could be in big trouble.
Yeah, and so would the trainer too, wouldn't they?
Yes. So, yeah, but it's the college that gets not the trainer. So that's why we've said 10 days, but it's 10 days from the last assignment submitted, which means it can get to us, be downloaded, and be inputted into WinSAS so that the students are getting their results within 21 days.
Yep.
So again, if you click on that link, you'll go back to the BERTA Trainer portal, and there's some sample course completions forms there that you can use. And I'll do some more of those. As more courses come on stream, we'll do some more blank ones there that you can use. So the next one is evaluations. And there's two things here. If you click on participants evaluation, you'll go back to the BERTA trainer portal, and there's a standard TOCAL evaluation form there. So you can add a bit to that if you want to, but you don't have to create your own evaluation form. The other thing I've added here, and this is pretty important, so we had some good news to say that we're going to have money for a project officer to look at continuous improvement. And so people are emailing me, ringing me with little issues, and some of them I can fix immediately, and some of them I have to fix immediately because it's impacting on the student. The student can't do something. But there are other things that are good ideas or suggestions, or why don't we do it this way or that way? And we haven't been able to deal with that because we don't have the resources at the moment to be going into the modules and changing and updating and adding things. But if I have a big template with all of the comments that have come to me so far, and if you've got additional comments you want to make as a trainer when you run the course, add them to this and send it in, and that's the template. I can just block copy it straight in, and then that can go to the project officer to look at. So that's a really important tool for trainers when you find something that you think, oh, why don't we do this or that, some other different idea. And those ideas can then be shared with everyone, because that way we'll get a much better course in the long run once we start looking at other ideas from more different people. So the last one on this list is additional assessment evidence. And this is not the individual workbooks or assessments or videos or photos of individual students. But sometimes a lot of trainers collect extra photos, photos of butcher's paper where groups have done activities, and that can be uploaded here. The actual individual assignments of the participant needs to be uploaded against the individual person. Okay, so this is where you'd put those extra bits that you can't marry easily to a person. So I would expect that if you're going to, we'll go to marks for a second, if you're going to upload for a student, so let's just pick on Morelle Elliott. So this is her final assessment here. So her trainer has uploaded her participant's workbook here as a PDF. So that sits here against the individual student. If there were some group photos that didn't specifically belong to Morelle, then you would upload them in the other place, in the additional assessment evidence. So in the additional assessment evidence, you are not uploading the participants' workbooks. That has to be uploaded against the individual student. To do that, you need to be a trainer. So if you've been in here, in trainer and admin documents, uploading all this overall course information, then you're in as a student. So how do we go about getting back in as a trainer? If you go to marks and you can't see this big spreadsheet, then that means that you're in as a student. So you have to go back to the book, scroll down to all courses, scroll down to whatever your course is, so let's say Logbar, and you need to come in as a trainer or a teacher. And then you'll be able to see marks. Okay, so you can see here the students' marks, their online assessment mark, their final assessment mark is all there and collected for the future.
Maybe can we show them also, Annette, the uploading of the final assessment for the student and that bug? There's a bit of a bug there that sometimes pops up.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go to Hayley Wilson. Let's say Hayley's done the course, which she hasn't, but let's say she had. Then
just the behind the
so I've got on my hard drive Hayley Wilson scanned logbar final assessment I've written my comments in it, I've allocated the marks, I've said nice things about her, and I type in here, well done, Hayley. Thank you for your assessment, blah, 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 whatever you want to write. And then I would go attach a file, and I'd choose a file, whatever, which I'm not going to do. And once I've chosen the file, I have to press save.
Before you put the mark in at the top.
Before I put the mark in. Because if you don't press save, it forgets about the attached file. So the alternative.
It's not totally like this is a Canvas bug, unfortunately.
It's a Canvas issue. So the other alternative is to put the mark in first.
Yeah.
So Hayley's a brilliant student. So we put 260 in because that's the mark that she's achieved. Then we write our comment and then we attach her file and then we save. Okay, so there's two ways of going about it, but it will not keep your file attached if you don't press save before you go up here and put the mark in.
And you can go sort of back out and then back in to check. I know it's a bit long-winded, but it's at least that way you know the student's stuff is there as opposed to being missed. So I've done it with
so the comment shows up but the file doesn't.
Exactly.
The first time I did it, I thought, oh, it hasn't remembered the attached file. So I did it again. Still didn't remember it. So I thought, oh. Anyway, so then I went out and I came back into the student and it was there. But it just doesn't show up straight away.
So it's just a bit of double checking, but it's something that the trainers will need to do to make sure that the content is in there.
So that's all access from marks. So marks, choose your student, and final assessment, where their scanned workbook, and in this case, this one's got a movie attached. So obviously they've done something that the trainers have videoed it and they've attached the movie. So their workbooks attached, their movies attached, and their marks been allocated.
That's great.
Okay. Now, do we want to have a look at messaging students who haven't done something?
Yeah, why not? Yep.
Okay, so what can happen, and this is probably not a good example, well, it is a good example because I can see a problem already. Okay, so if you're coming up to the face-to-face course and you're looking at that and saying, oh, there's a lot of people haven't completed, what you can do is just click over here and it will sort in order. And so it brings the people with 0 to the top. And the other thing that becomes obvious down here is that these two people have not completed the online assessment. Now, there's actually a good reason for that, because they actually hold the unit. So they didn't have to. They didn't have to. But if that wasn't the case, and there were two students that you were expecting to do the assessment, then you'd say, oh, well, where's their assessments? And what you can do is you can go to here and go message students who have not yet submitted. And it comes up with the list, and you need to make sure that. So there's a lot of people in Logbar who are not in your group. So if Ben Byrne's not in your group, you delete him. If Henry I. Eddie is not in your group, you delete them. If Utah's not in the group, you delete them. So whoever you leave on this list, you can then write a message to and send it.
Yep.
And so from time to time, when I know a course is coming, I've been doing that, particularly for the enrolment forms or the PHA and AHA certificates or the resume, because it's in my interest to make sure that they're in before the course. And so that's a handy one where you can just message the students who haven't, but don't just send it to the whole list, because there'll be people on that list who are not in your group.
Yeah. Plus, you can the participant can message the trainer as well. So we've got that chat feature over onto the side there, which they also need to keep an eye on too, don't they?
Yeah. Yes. So over here's in an inbox, a whole lot of messages.
Yours will be huge because of you've got 30 odd courses, but they'll have a handful of courses that they can keep more of an eye on those messages themselves. Yeah. Great. That's really good.
So the other thing, I guess, that while we're here looking at this is if you sort that in order of highest to lowest, then on all of the assessments, there is a minimum mark, and it's usually 80%. And so you can sort it in order and say 262 out of 315, get on your calculator and check if it's 80%. And I do that before I submit your course completion form. So that's the last check I make. Have they done both? Have they achieved 80% in both? And have they, on BERTA Overview, so I go to marks on BERTA Overview, I choose the Logbar group, wherever it is. And I have a look and see that those people have done everything that they're meant to.
Yeah, so it's the trainer's responsibility to check to see that they've uploaded all those requirements as well, so their CV and their PHA certs and stuff.
And you can see here that the trainer hasn't actually ticked off these things.
So
they're here, but then that hasn't been, it's been uploaded, but hasn't been marked off. And so, so this student here, Brendan, will be withheld because he hasn't uploaded his PHA and AHA certificate. So even if he's achieved the required marks and he hasn't uploaded those certificates, they're prerequisites.
Yep.
And I quite often write little comments in here like those two are withdrawn. So I don't necessarily take them out of the group, but I've said that they're withdrawn. So then don't chase those people for things then.
Yeah, and there's a couple of ways to get to that BERTA overview, isn't there? Like the dashboard or back in courses, all courses.
I usually go in through the dashboard, but you can go to all courses as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So so they're the checks I make before I submit people's results.
Yeah. So maybe just before you go out of there, can you show them, like there's a book, one of the book ones there. Can we just open that up just to show where they click complete to get that green tick for them?
Okay, so I'm going into this person here.
Yep. Just in case.
And so entry requirement certificates. Yep. And I should see two files here, and normally I would actually download them and look at them. And then I would go over here and go complete.
Yeah, nice. And it gives them the green tick then.
And sometimes if it's something important, I'll write.
Yeah.
But if it's just those certificates, I might write thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's brilliant. So I think I think really it's just making sure that if people do get lost, just to head back to those help sheets. Yes,
that's right. So back on the BERTA Trainer portal, the help sheet link is right at the top.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe
Click on that.
Yep, and can we just maybe show them that little quick skip to forms for them as well? Like,
Okay.
that's a great. That's a great
Yeah,
little
yep. So in course administration, once you've run a few courses and read through all the guff, then you're not going to want to be scrolling through all those pages every time. And so what I've done is I've put a skip to forms link.
I use this one a lot.
Yeah, and so you can just skip to that spot and download the forms that you need.
Yeah.
So I expect that you would have read the information the first time, but you don't have to read it every time.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. So, from time to time I do change these forms. So it's quite important that you come in here and get the latest version. And so the trainer registration portal for Canvas registration form, for example, you need to make sure you've got the latest one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so that's that handy tool. The other thing we need to finish off on, Hayley, is if you're having problems while I'm on leave, email BERTA@tocal.com.
Yes.
People are monitoring that email. It'll be on the bottom of my email as well. And a couple of other contacts, like someone to talk to about RPL. But it's really important that you get used to emailing important things to BERTA@tocal.com so that more than one person sees it.
Exactly.
And can action it.
But otherwise, I think that's it for today. We're going to make this this webinar available on Canvas and on the AHA Resource Hub and YouTube. So we're going to make it so it's easily accessible for everyone to watch it again. And we'll probably end up sort of chopping it up into little bits too, to specifically to those areas that we've gone through today. So as I said, there's going to be a lot more to come. You'll see Annette's face, probably more so than mine, but the dynamic duo over time, creating these lots of videos for trainers and participants.
Yep. All the little tricky tasks that people get stuck on, we'll be working on that.
Otherwise, yeah, thanks very much for today, Annette, and thanks very much to everyone else. And I'm just going to stop the recording and we'll catch you next time.
Yep, okay, very good. Thank you.